Today we're taking a look at the Gosney Tread Venture stand. This stand is designed for the Gosney Tread oven, which is marketed as being the most portable oven there is. It's very light and portable. The stand overall, I think it sells for about $250. But to get the stand to work with the oven, underneath the oven, there's a spot where there's this bracket the stand comes with. There's 3 screws. You screw it in, then the bracket's on permanently, semi-permanently. Then you just pick up the oven and drop it on the tripod and it snaps in. Once it's in, it's pretty solid. When you're on concrete, it's pretty solid. Wiggling it around, it spins freely. So I've had some time with it. I've only had it for a few days, but we've been out here cooking. So I want to give you my pros and cons so far on the stand and to really see if it's worth the $250 price point. So pros, my favorite thing so far is how easy it is to move around. That comes in handy when you're in the outdoors. You got a big gust of wind coming through. You can turn the oven away from the wind and keep your flame alive. And then, as happens in nature, the wind changes. You can move the oven. You can keep the flame from blowing out. So that's a big plus. Next, the stand itself feels very well built, high quality. I'm not a Gosney ambassador, so I don't get any money if you buy this stand. The handle's robust. One of my worries with the legs when they're collapsed and you carry it sideways is that they would just fall down, but they don't. They stay there very well, because I was thinking, oh, I'm gonna have to get a strap or something to hold these together, but they stay together very well. Another pro is it takes up such a small amount. We came in our little Suzuki Sidekick that the stand itself took up such a small space in the back. It was nice how compact it is, and then holds this whole oven in place. To remove the oven, there's just a latch here you pull on, and then you can lift the oven off, and then it's super easy. There is a level on top of the tripod, or quadrupod, I don't know, on top of the stand, so you can tell if you're level. Now let's get to the cons. My number one gripe, and it's a big one with the stand, is the method they used for these legs. There's only really 2 spots you can click between when you're trying to level the tripod, the stand. I don't know, it's not a tripod, but like this is the best we could get out here, and it's wobbly. If they made the legs more like a tripod, like a camera tripod, and have incremental changes, like infinitely, it would be so much easier to level this thing on the dirt. But instead, we're stuck with just 2 different positions. So I feel like that was kind of a big oversight. They really should have done that. That's kind of huge for me. Next, peel me. Where's the peel? Peel me, bro. I really wish they'd come up with some hooks to hang your peel from, or your turning peel, so you have somewhere to put them while you're cooking. I mean, you can set them up here, but if you've got a lot going on, it'd be nice just to have something to hang on the stand. The next gripe is getting these legs extended. Pushing these buttons in is not like super easy. It's kind of tough. You do have to pull pretty hard, which for some people could be pretty difficult, especially if you don't have really strong hands. Also, I feel like they could have added a hook under here to hang a propane tank from, just to make the turning a little easier. That's not that big of a gripe though. So overall, that's the pros and cons of the Tread stand. Do I feel like it's worth $250? That's hard for me to say, because most of the time, I think you could cook just on a normal table, even just like a plastic table. I've cooked on before and it's worked fine. Again, in these high winds, turning it's easy, but if it's a long table and getting out of the wind means you're on the long side of the table, that makes it really hard to cook and deal with the wind. So the pivoting is big. If they could have just added the incremental changes, I feel like this would be close to worth that $250 price point. But since it doesn't have that, it's really hard to say. I hope I've given you enough information about it for you to decide whether you feel like it's worth the $250. If you have any additional questions about the Venture stand, please leave them in the comments below, and I'll try and answer as many as I can. Make sure you're subscribed. It does help us out with getting more products like this. Otherwise, thanks for stopping by. Bye. Bada bing, bada boom.